Sean too for sending me a message to read here, and thanks everyone for coming out. I'm going to read a couple of pieces from a book I wrote last year that's been kind of hibernating on my G drive since. The book's called Hoarder. I don't know how many of you are familiar with the DSM-5, which came out a year or two ago, but hoarding is now a diagnosis in the DSM-5, referred to as OCHD or HD. Realize that acronym has, I don't know, HD. So this is kind of my HD book, or something like that. The first one's called Word Hoard. The book's about my mom, who's a hoarder, and about living with a hoarder. Wild child, wastrel, spoon-fed on Sudafed, hang up the body on what is not there. The old self is a never-mind straight to the brain, so long. NyQuil atop the bottom row of the back behind four neatly leaning columns of catalogs. You start searching for the words there. Which ones would you like to order? Which color? Which size? How many? How about next week? How many? How much? How undisturbed the hemiplegia of her nice side. How nice it all is. It is the stuff. This stuff. Stuff. Puffy coats, windbreakers, gloves, medicine, Kleenex, photo albums, notebooks, family photos coated by layers of dust, pens, audiobooks, and VHS tapes all through the mail order. Refrigerator rot of oranges piled and packed in like industrial cattle, frozen dinners, all of the past. Simply picayune, small beer, piffle, posh, rubbish, folly, humbuggery, nonsense, bunk, drivel, drool of the dragon that lies sleeping under the bunk bed. Traces of smoke linger. Your poor soul climbs the staircase, one step by one. The sound of steps makes you perpetually anxious. No words for the sight of it. On the back deck, you're a drunken Ishmael on the masthead. Clouds collect roseate efflorescence in the dawn, dispersing into blue by noon. Basement remains damp, walls are slowly chipped away. Noxious rust lining the pipes and boards bending beneath the bow-legged spirits that are weighing down this way down under feeling of being there, with no word to describe how it requires no difference. This is called Hills. The hills are teeming with the skeletal silence of dead life forms. Think of all the good things in life that burn, the book of memory on whose paper words that burns. For a millennium or two, they sear into you and me an idea of wordlessness, a habitat for a people's people, like those pollarded London plane trees growing back every year, always reaching the same height, more or less light, dance of the fireflies in the graveyard of adolescent conversations, desperate and sweaty, arouse tears at the edge of sense. They spill out their hearts in the sun's oceanic downpour, magic order in the pre-childish things, in the lumberyard of Hireth. We wandered through aisles of 2x4s, 6x8s, plywood, particle boards, sturdy planks, prefab fences, future rocking horses, and sawdust to strow upon the floor of the rathskeller where a father once imbibed times you cannot visit without exception. Simpler and simpler, you say. Self-designed study facing east toward the source of the sun, skylight and running water. Ease into the falling course of non-countable droplets running along the glacial fuse of memory. The thaw painted into the scenery of wind over great plains, a formal feeling of auroral grains kissing stones, from which sounds of the rind of a mind, a heart peeled away as emaciated payment. Think of the stars in their equidistant wars. When the birds begin to sing, their songs remain silent. the hammering of each beam into a structure never on earth lasting, never growing old, never giving in except when each plank and reason sucks in air and heat and swims in the wash of questions becoming ashes, commanding you to hold on to something and give the rest away. And this is called Lakeshore, which is a reference to Lakeshore and Lake Merritt. It's about a teacher I had who at UC Berkeley, I think has disappeared. I can't track her down. It is never the same sun you see. The setting was enjoyed alone on your porch. All actions passive have been recalled to mind now off of Lakeshore in twilight. You are the mother who commanded me to neither gouge out these eyes nor apologize. On campus, bodies move in space without eye contact. We cannot afford it. Your door was open, cancel the phone service and cable. Nobody home but her books spattered with candle wax and thick smudges of life grime. Pages smelling of not showering but showing the way into and out of all of this. Entry and exit, make your own. Urgent as the next failure, as those destined for the future and those that can choose. Intuit the light where the cracks in the walls spell crumbling. Forget fucking each to his or her limit and past it out of spite. Go past that. A quandary. This friendship driving itself with no hands. No words now for the alone. Palm trees dazed in a tamarind sunset with lemon. The dusk settling on park and street, and obscene scenery of this quiet abandoned corner where once you were and still may be. Teach me again for the first time, let it rain, let class go, let our afflictions ride away into the sunset where they will continue to burn. Let the shell of sand on your skin be brushed away. It is the same skin you feel. Without understanding this, we have stopped trying to reach each other. I have stopped calling, you have stopped ignoring. One person merges into another, one city into another, one body into another, one life into another. Back at home, we require a permit to rebuild. Are you up to code? Have you drifted away? Will you answer the message or extend the delay? So after Lakeshore, I'll read a poem called Lake. Diadem of non-directional collocation, you lead me here again. The shore has receded almost to the center, where ducks still sound out of the tepid, algae-infested pond for some grub. Marsh grasses 5 feet high keel over toward the little water left. Muddy banks grown thicker, wider, subsuming the picture and its abundant reflections. Above me, the sky hoards stars, a singular multiplicity ready each day to unfold. What was scattered gathers, what gathers remains. Rolls upon rolls of film enveloped by books and boxes stacked high and buried low, now shipped out before you knew it would happen. Go figure. Breathless, wandering on this short route, further shortened by lapse of time and excessive heat, you roll up your pants to step in. Feet are warmer now. Regain feeling slowly. Toes begin moving. Body planted on earth once more. Mouth is dry this morning but can't drink. We used to visit this lake to feed the ducks from old boxes of granola, the lake's jewel being that secret of time which gets misplaced, buried, erased, submerged, rejected, neglected, beaten, broken, infected, stolen, lost, let go, let off, worn out, undone, removed, or dies of its own accord, stealing one more breath as you make off with this starchy taste of oak and eucalyptus, dry in the nostrils, you step into the rhythm of found, waiting, wanting all that is left to come down to this no there. Mud puppies quiver, leaves concentric shadows in the shallow where all is unclear. Thanks.
Jeffrey Neilson from Brown, ladies and gentlemen.